What's going on, everybody, and welcome to 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed those top 10 videos I did for the 64 and 18 scale, but in this video we have to talk about 20 of the most anticipated releases for 2025. I've got my list here, and this isn't a list where it sorts out what's best to worst or anything like that. However, I will say that the number one model is one of the biggest releases of the year so far, okay? Because we don't know what new pre-orders might be releasing, but so far it is the biggest one. So let's get started and reveal this list starting right now. I'm doing this a little bit different, a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxed. So let's start with number 20 on this list, okay? So number 20 is gonna be the Pop Race Nissan Skyline R33 GTR Top Secret Edition in gold. So this is Pop Race's first top secret version that's coming out. Can't wait to see what this thing is gonna look like. Marchi and the team actually even did a small little redesign on this after the community backlash. I say backlash, it wasn't really anything huge, but it was a little bit of a design change to accommodate the top secret R33. Number 19 is going to be the Mini GT Porsche. This is going to be the GT3R, the second place winner Rexy version, not the Roxy, but the Rexy version. And despite the reception that the first Rexy version had, this was not going to be a surprise that this one was going to make the list. So hopefully everybody pre-ordered one and can enjoy this second rendition of this Mini GT diecast. Coming in at number 18, this one is actually something that some people already have in their hands. This is going to be the Tarmac Works John Seaball edition at the JCCS in 2024. This is an event that recently happened, and this was one of the special event cars at that event. But Tarmac Works opened this up to other resellers to sell it as well and provide it to their collectors. And I would say that on this one, maybe it was because they didn't sell out of the diecast at the event, or maybe it was always in the plan to have resellers get it. However, hopefully you guys were able to grab one. And I did hear that some of the scalpers were doubling or tripling this thing off of their retail price just because it was a special event model. But obviously that seems to have been thwarted because now it is a regular release from your favorite reseller. Number 17 is going to be another Pop Race, and this one is actually a collaboration with Fat 5 Racing. This one is a Japanese special event release that they're doing exclusively at this Fat 5 Racing venue. And the thing about this one is that it was a pre-sale of sorts, I want to say, that sold out already. However, I was able to provide a small batch to my collectors, and luckily, hopefully you guys were able to get in on that. But this is a double car release. It's got the Ken Mary Skyline, and it's got a Hakusuka, both drift versions, just in a special paint scheme. And I think these cars are going to be there in real life, so we'll have to wait and see what that looks like. Number 16, and this list seems extremely long, is the Hobby Japan AE86 Truno. This is the DK version with the different mesh wheels. So the very first release was actually part of my top 10. This one is going to be the Dory Dory style mesh wheels design, but it will probably have the art box just like the first one did with the Kichi Tsuchiya green chrome reflective look to it. This one might be one that you might want to get if maybe you missed out on the very first one. So this is your second chance to get one of these iconic pieces from Hobby Japan. Next up is an ignition model unit, and this is going to be a top secret Nissan Skyline GTR R32. So this is part of the 18 scale re-releases that Ignition Model has been doing as of late. This is going to be the gold version of that, and the top secret tradition seems to be leaking over from 2024, it seems like. But a larger scale, another chance for collectors to be able to get a hand on this, because it was probably not but maybe 5+ years ago that it first released, and there might be some small tweaks and changes to this one as well. Moving on up to number 14. Number 14 is going to be from Tarmac Works, and this one's actually pretty neat because I haven't seen anybody else release this. This is the Bisimoto Porsche with trading cards. So Tarmac Works continuing on this race to let collectors dive into another addiction, which is collecting cards, but in addition, it's going to have this marvelous diecast. So if you're a BC Moto fan, or if you're a slant nose fan or a Porsche fan, this is going to be one that you want to add to your arsenal. Not only that, it comes with a, I think, 2-pack of cards. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what that looks like in 64 scale. Coming up at number 13 is going to be Mini GT again, and these guys actually have a really nice box set of Mr. Matsuda. So this is going to be the Motul Autec GT 2021 Super GT Series, and this was the Suzuka winner for Mr. Matsuda. And Mr. Matsuda recently had another release at Tokyo Auto Salon, which was that R32 box set too. So they're doubling down on Mr. Matsuda and giving him a lot of face time when it comes to diecast products. So hopefully you guys were able to grab one of those. It being a special edition with that figure, it's gonna be one that you don't wanna miss, especially if you're a Matsuda fan. Next up, we finally have a new brand, not new brand, but a new brand on the list finally. It's Inno64, and these guys recently came out with a new tooling. That was the Le Mans shakedown test of the Nissan R89C. This is the one driven by Mr. Paul Richard in 1988. But part of the new tooling, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be other variations of this coming out as well, so stay tuned. Let's see what Inno64 does. Next up at number 11, it's going to be the Mini GT Top Secret Nissan Silvia S15 in gold. This is that D1 GP version. This is also the one where Tokyo Auto Salon showcased that chrome gold version, but this is going to be the standard color release, but an awesome one to add to your collection, especially if you have the R34. And as I am predicting, I think the Supra will also be another one that comes out in a standard gold finish from Mini GT now that they have that tooling. Coming in at number 10, you better be right, this is going to be on the list. This is the Roxy 64 scale from Mini GT. And of course, I know that this one is super hot because it's a great alternative to Hot Wheels collectors that are trying to find the Roxy Porsche. I say nobody, but hopefully nobody's going to pay $300 for that subpar casting. Although it is a great casting for Hot Wheels to be able to make it, what I mean by it is that if you're going to pay that much money, you might as well just get a Mini GT version with higher details, high quality, and it all being backed by AO Racing. Now, this is probably a big seller from 2024, so can't wait till collectors get their hands on this later in the quarter, if not early quarter 2. Number 9 is going to be finally Automobile making it to the list. It's going to be an 18 scale Honda NSX Mugen edition. A fun fact about this, it's already released in Europe and overseas, but traditionally we won't see this in the States for about a month or two later. So I'm hoping that this one arrives to collectors maybe next month or the month after. So it was slated for a Q1 release, but this one coming in really clean with the Mugen bits and catalog items on this NSX. A lot of NSX fans and owners waiting for this one, so can't wait to see that drop. Number 8 is going to be the Makeup Co. 18 scale Nissan Skyline GTR. This is the Nismo S-Tune version in Bayside Blue with the white LMGTs. Now, this one is pretty neat because I'm wondering if Makeup Co. is going to start releasing the 18 scale R34s again in multiple different variations. I don't know if I've ever done other Nismo versions or Z-Tune versions or things like that, but this is really interesting to see them start and ramp up 18 scale GTRs. Number 7, all right, we got a new brand here. Motor Helix with the Mazda 787B. BM Creations actually jumped on the bandwagon and made that version as well, but Motor Helix, I'm not sure how the details are going to look. When it comes to their Nissan Skyline R34s, it looked fantastic. So I'm waiting to see what this one's going to look like, and you better believe that this one is going to be compared to that BM Creations version. This is the number 55 car, the winter car that we are all familiar with seeing turned into a casting, whether it's a resin or a die cast, it's always going to be there. So let's wait to see what that looks like from Motor Helix. All right, coming up at number 6 is an Ignition model. This is actually a re-release again. This is the Toyota Trueno AE86 DK version. This is the late version in white. So this is the one that I'm gonna guess that a lot of people missed out on back in the day when the hobby wasn't as big, but now people are noticing Ignition model a lot more. They're checking out what type of releases they're coming out with, and because of the fact that they're doing these re-releases, this is the time to finally jump on it. So a lot of people jumped on this one to make sure that they're adding it to their collection because it is not one that you see very often in a larger 18 scale. So cannot wait to see what that looks like, and you better believe I got one for myself too. So number 5, guys, we made it to top 5. Number 5 is gonna be the Makeup Co. Nissan Skyline GTR Minds V-Spec Tokyo Auto Salon version. So this one has a little bit of a difference between this and the other one with the Volk Racing wheels. Mostly, I think to the regular Encore, it's gonna look exactly the same. However, it does have some tidbit differences between that one and the one that they showed off at TAS 2024. Again, Makeup Co. just capitalizing on this R34. Can't wait to see what other ones come out with. So we'll just wait and see. Now guys, remember, this isn't in any type of order except for number 1. Number 1 is the big one that I'm gonna showcase at the last bit here, but let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is gonna be another Tarmac Works John Seaball edition. This is the TRD wide body with the TRD graphics livery on there. John Seaball making this into his own little rendition with the wide body kit, and Tarmac Works offering their expertise to turn it into a 64 scale. So this is a pretty awesome one that I think a lot of people will enjoy. And I think it's nice to see someone like John Seaball get his name out there and make some castings come to real life, because, you know, some of his stuff is just renditions and artwork, but to see it in real life is going to be a real treat for collectors. All right, number 3 is going to be the Pop Race Mercedes-Benz AMG CLK GTR. This is a sweet tooling and casting from Pop Race. It actually already released at the time of releasing this video, but again, us collectors in the US probably not going to see it until later this month or next month. But this is the Mercedes AMG that they showed off at the Malaysia diecast show that I went to in person. Pop Race is also going to be releasing other variations of this in different colors, so can't wait to see what they come out with when it comes to seeing this in real life, and I'll probably do a review video on this one. The second to the last one I have here is the AutoArt McLaren Honda MP46. Now you might be wondering, that is an old pre-order, but what happened is that AutoArt actually only shipped a small batch to US resellers. So we're actually waiting on a second batch. So this is another highly anticipated, a lot of people waiting for this one. So we're just waiting for it. And this is the number 1 car on my list of top 10 from 2024. So if you were able to get one, you are in for a big treat on this one, and I know you guys are gonna enjoy it. All right, so we have made it to number 1, and this is the top release of 2025, in my opinion, so far, right? Because we don't know what else is coming out in 2025 beyond this list of pre-orders that happened last year. This is gonna be the 1 model 12 scale Honda S2000 Top Fuel Edition. A lot of diehard fans of this car probably already have the 18 scale version, which took almost 2 years to release. They probably have the 64 scale version as well. These are all resins. And now this 12 scale version is also going to be a resin. So that's going to be 3 different variation sizes of this thing. To have this in a 12 scale, which a lot of these car brands actually aren't doing 12 scale anymore. Maybe that'll change this year. But this thing is going to be the centerpiece of 2025 for sure, and it's probably going to make my top 10 list, absolutely. But you better believe that when that thing arrives, I am going to be doing a comparison review between that one, the 18 scale and the 64 scale, and we're gonna have to see how that looks in person in real life. So honestly, I cannot wait to get that one. Even though I'm not a Honda collector when it comes to model cars, that is one that I am the most excited for. Okay guys, and there you have it. That's gonna be my list. I don't know if any of those model cars made your list on the things that maybe you're waiting for. There's gonna be a lot that's gonna be announcing, I'm sure, at the start of the year from all the brands as well when it comes to new things that are gonna, release later on in the year. But let me know down in the comments if I missed anything. Let me know if any of those resonate with you in terms of what you're waiting for. Let me know, especially if I missed anything, and I'll see you guys in the next video.